Hey, it's Ellie. Welcome back to another video, or hello if you are new. Today we are back in Summit Sanctuary doing a bit of an impromptu habitat. So, as I was in the middle of building this zoo, the zookeeper pack came out, which included Pallas cats, which are one of my favorite animals. Pallas cats are literally, their grumpy faces just give me so much life. So when they added Pallas cats to the game, I was like, I absolutely have to put this in my zoo. And I had this sort of long stretch in between two areas that I had already planned that felt like it needed a little something. I was thinking of making some kind of guest area, but when the Pallas cat came out, I was like, yes, we are going to put them in the zoo. Even though I don't think they're in date, I think they're least concern on the conservation status. So they don't exactly fit in with the theme of this zoo, but seriously, who doesn't love a Pallas cat? They're just, and they're so small. Oh gosh. I was so happy. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe this is crazy, I don't know. When I play Planet Zoo, I don't really, how do I word this? I don't really get excited about the animals. I know this doesn't make any sense, right? So I love animals. Zoos, I love zoos. I think I mentioned before, my dream vacation is just a road trip to see zoos. And actually, my partner and I are potentially, well, probably most, like 95% confirmed going to be moving literally across the country soon. Not soon, but in some months. Which is like, when I say literally, I mean we are currently on the East Coast and we are going to go to the West Coast. And both of the locations are like roughly, I would say maybe 2 or 3 hours inland from the coast. So it's like, could not be further apart where we're going to be moving. And my partner was joking like, oh, we can finally do the zoo road trip, but we can't. We can't because we have cats and they're gonna be in the car with us. So we can't really do any major pit stops or anything. Like, it really is just gonna be driving. So that is going to be definitely an adventure, I would say. It would take us like a week to drive across country. Anyway, so that's to say, I love animals and I love seeing animals, and the reason I enjoy building zoos so much is because I get to build them for animals and people. Like, I enjoy Planet Coaster, but it's not, it just doesn't feel the same, you know? The trip, the rides and all that. I'm not really a roller coaster person. I just don't care, okay? But I love building for the animals, and I love thinking about a guest experience in a zoo and building for that guest experience as well. But really, what animal goes in the habitat? I could care less. I know that sounds counterintuitive. It's like an oxymoron, right? I love building for the animals, but I really don't care which animal it is. But the Pallas cat is probably the only animal that they have announced coming into the Planet Zoo franchise that I have been like legitimately excited for because I love them, you know? Like, all the big cats are cool. I enjoy seeing the elephants in game. Like, all the animals look good. I think it's not that I it's not that I'm apathetic towards the animals, it's that all of them are good. That like, frankly, it doesn't matter what specific animal goes into it because they're all fun to build for. So I guess that's where I land. But, you know, Pallas cats came and I was like, I have to do this immediately. I need to see them in this game. Because they're so cute with their little grumpy faces. I have this whole character planned. One of my friends is going to be running like a one-shot series for us in Pathfinder. And I have this whole character planned in that Pathfinder game where I want to have, like a witch or whatever, I don't know the specific classes. I play 5e Dungeons and Dragons, so I don't really know the Pathfinder things as well, but basically the character concept is some kind of magical witch who has a Pallas cat as a familiar. And I'm so excited to play it because I want to name my familiar maybe after one of the Pallas cats that's in a zoo. Because I know there's a Pallas cat called Bowl, I think that's how you pronounce it, who just gets a ton of love online because he's a humorous. And then Polly, I think, is his partner, though they may not be together anymore because they might have separated the mating pair at this point. But yeah, I feel like I want to name one of my Pallas cats, one of my familiars after that, one of these Pallas cats in the real life zoos. So I'm very excited. I think I first saw them, maybe, I haven't seen one in person actually, which is crazy. But I first saw like video of a Pallas cat, I want to say in Secrets of the Zoo, which is a TV show on National Geographic, maybe? It's on Disney Plus, regardless. So that's the streaming service it's available in. And that is a great show to look at for some zoo inspiration. And if you just in general like zoos and like seeing the behind the scenes of zoos, I very much enjoy the show. I will give a content warning if you want to watch that show. They do occasionally have animal medical emergencies, which they sometimes show. I wouldn't necessarily call it graphic, but there is some, you know, medical gore, which is not the same as like a real gore, but you know, you see the inside of animal bodies occasionally and some things that might gross people out, like shills and things, you know, medical, you know, any medical issue that arises for an animal. So they do occasionally show those, and there is the occasional animal death. So just a trigger warning if you want to watch that show, but I do recommend it. It's very interesting to see, you know, what goes on behind the scenes for the zookeepers and just the staff in general, and you can really see how much zookeepers have care about the animals. And I think that's nice. I always appreciate that. The original show follows the Columbus Zoo, which is huge, and it has that wildlife. I forget what the name is. Do they just call it the Wilds? I don't remember. They have like a whole free-range wildlife sanctuary that's some miles from the actual like zoo, and you can go on tours there, and they have a bunch of wild herds of things like takin, and I think they have the I'm blanking on the name, like the Pulaski horses or something. That's not how you pronounce it. I just can't think of it right now. But yeah, they have several free-range herds there, and so you do get to see that side of the Columbus Zoo as well. So the wildlife sanctuary and kind of how they deal with that, like when they have to bring the herds in for the winter and how they deal with hoof care for animals that might not necessarily be used to such a wet environment, because that, if you don't know, Columbus is in Ohio, which is in the Great Lakes region of the United States. It's very wet here. I live in New York, so it's kind of just kitty corner to me. And they have, for the most part, similar weather, though I think it's a bit warmer there, typically year round, because it is a bit more south. But living near the Great Lakes, because it's a huge internal body of water, it creates a lot of precipitation and things of that nature. So very wet. It's just generally very wet here. Wet and cold, specifically where I am, which is not great. Anyway, this is a very, very short episode, I forgot to mention, because it was totally unexpected. I didn't really have anything extravagant planned. I just kind of modeled this habitat off of other habitats that I've seen in other zoos. But that's pretty much the end of this video. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I post these videos every Tuesday and Saturday. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye!